Property Graduate is the show for aspiring property developers and investors to win the opportunity of a lifetime. The prize, to form a company with well-known developer and investor John Howard and own 50% of the shares. John is hugely successful. With almost 40 years experience in the industry, he knows a thing or two, having bought and sold almost 4,000 homes, apartments and developments. This competition is not for the faint-hearted. There's a lot at stake. John is putting £1 million into the new company so the winner can buy and develop a property. With a 50% stake in it, they'll automatically receive a 50% share of the profit and potentially have John as a business partner for life. You're watching Property Graduate. To become the Property Graduate 2021, the competitors have to make it through 3 rounds. They are the interviews, the challenge and the deal. And of course they need to outperform their rivals to be crowned the winner. There can only be one. To help him, John has enlisted Helen Chorley and Fiona Talbot, who are both highly successful and experienced in property. Hundreds of people applied to take part in the show, telling us why they deserve to be Property Graduate 2021. Only 20 applicants made the shortlist and were invited to the interviews. In this round, they are interviewed by John, Helen and Fiona and asked questions based on the CVs they submitted. The panel is tough and the competitors have to impress, as they know that at the end of the day, only half of them, yes, that's 10, will go through to the next round.
I'm afraid it's bad news on this occasion.
So let's meet our competitors. The applicants have been invited to a secret location in Surrey. And as they start to arrive, there's excitement in the air and a lot of nerves too. The competition was open to anyone over the age of 18, with all levels of experience welcome.
It's been a few years where I've really been interested, and it's not been until recently where I've decided that it's quite feasible for me to get into, really.
I am an absolute newbie, I'm proud of it.
I think I've been in the property for quite some time, for more than 20 years.
And they came from far and wide, such as Clive Power, who flew over from Ireland. In his application, he described himself as a husband, father, charity worker and giver of whatever I can. So let's see how he got on.
Hello there, welcome to Property Graduate, Clive.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me. My name is Clive Power and I'm from Dublin. I'm living in Northern Ireland now about 22 years. I consider myself to be a professional property investor. I have a lot of experience in buy-to-lets and HMOs, Airbnbs.
And we're really impressed that you've travelled all this way to be with us today. You know, that's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the
But
way.
what are you willing to give up if you did get the opportunity to work with John in this partnership? Because it's a big project, a big undertaking.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I feel that I'm ready for it. And I don't want to become overconfident. I would describe myself as confident, but I'm humble too, but I would relish the challenge. To answer your question, what I'm ready to give up, whatever it takes, I'm not going to give up my family or, you know, but if I needed to move to England, I could do that. My wife and boy, we can do that. And I would be given, you know, it's just not just a cliche, I'll be given 110% and I'll be focused. I have a lot to offer, I have a lot of skills, and maybe I didn't believe in myself as much as I could have and probably should have for a long time, but now I think I'm ready for the next level, and I think this would be life-changing for me, and I would really love this opportunity to work and to learn.
What do you like in a crisis? What do you like when you're handed problems?
Oh, I'm a nightmare. I'm only joking. I'm banging walls and I'm throwing stuff. I've learned over the years that, you know, stuff, you know, happens, and it does happen. And I know I've had it. You know, I've had it several times when I was younger. And I said, "Oh my God, is that, you know, the usual?" But now I know that it's just part of the journey. It's part of the journey. It's going to happen. Expect it to happen, and just deal with it and just say, okay, what is the situation here? What is the worst case scenario? What is the best case scenario? And just be calm and take it as it comes and just deal with it.
What sort of property would you like to, do you like new build? Do you like to convert? What do you like? What's your thing, if you like?
Well, I have a goal to build 100 houses, 100 family homes. But these family homes will be like no other family homes. These family homes are, but you know, they're not just bricks and mortar. The people raise their children in these homes, and they have life. They live their life, and they have unbelievable experiences in these. So one of my goals is to build houses. I love homes. I like apartments too, but I feel I want to work with homes, houses. One of my goals is to build 100 houses, you know, really good houses. You're offering up to £1 million of your money to invest in a deal. That's a lot of money, and I would, you know, I won't be letting you down. I won't be letting you down with that kind of money, you know.
All right. Well, Clive, thank you very much for coming today. I know it's a long way, and we really appreciate it, I can assure you, and it just shows you the strength of the show. It's fantastic. So, and Clive, thank you very much indeed.
Lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you, Clive.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next up is Gavin McKenzie from the south of England. He brings with him 15 years' experience in quantity surveying and project management. In his application, he talked about the tragedy of losing his father in 2020. Deciding that life is too short, he decided to sell his shares in his construction consultancy practice to follow his dream of becoming a property developer. He says, "Whilst not being the smartest move, I believe in myself and my ability, and I will make the risk pay off."
Welcome to Property Graduate. Do you want to give us a bit of your background? Tell us why you're here, why you think you'd be fabulous for this role.
My background is in quantity surveying, project management and contract administration. 6 years ago, myself, my two colleagues at the time, two good friends of mine, we decided to start our own venture, our own business in construction consultancy. We've done that. It's fantastic. It's done really well, still doing really well at the moment. I decided that it was no longer the path I wanted to go on.
Right.
So I decided to go full in on property and developments.
So you're clearly capable in making sure that when we're in the deal that the things are happening that should be happening. But talk to me about sourcing that £1 million deal for John and yourself as a partnership and making sure that the profit is there and going to happen.
This is my full-time career now. I've gone all in land development property. So this has got my full attention, and I will make it work. For me, it's a bit of a numbers game with getting out, you know, it's constantly looking for opportunities, because a lot of opportunities might start as an opportunity, but they don't always get there in the end. So it's a bit of a numbers game. A lot of direct to vendor. So at the moment I do a lot of land finding, and it's a constant thing I do at the moment. So finding deals, finding the land to get the letters out and go direct to vendor is key.
Direct to vendor. Do you think that's key? Because I'm not sure, to be honest with you, Gavin, I'm not sure direct to vendor, and shoot me down if I'm wrong, because I've never done it, is going to find us the deal we want to buy personally. What do you think, Fiona?
I mean, are you looking to do a land deal? Is that what you're telling us?
Well, so my background through for what I've done is been development, really. I think that's probably where my strongest skill set is, and I think that's what I would like to focus on.
I don't have a problem with that at all, Helen. I don't think it matters whether it's you're into doing conversions or whether it's land deals or you specialise in putting petrol stations up. It doesn't really matter. It's still property, so I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, and clearly you bring a lot of relevant skills and experience, but where do you think your weakness is? Where do you think, you might struggle a little bit?
Up until this point, fear. Fear was my biggest
because
point.
you've been the other side of the, like I said, you've been the gamekeeper, not the fox.
Yeah, and it took me a bit of time to realise that when I look back at my career where we got to a fantastic position. We built a business, and that was great. But I realised fear has always held me back, and I've realised it, acknowledged it. This is why I'm here today, to push forward and take it in the direction that I would like to take that in.
Well, Gavin, I'm delighted you've come. We all are. Thank you for coming today, and good luck. And
thank you.
Let's hope we see you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Lovely. Thank you.
Next up, we have Katherine, who's a mother of 3. In her application, she makes this bold statement. I aim to build a business that delivers high GDV with a 30% net minimum profit margin, with a predominantly build-to-rent strategy for long-term capital growth and passive income.
I'm Katherine Lewis and I live in Berkhamsted. I'm originally from Yorkshire, and I've basically just always had a fascination with property. So from a very young age, I remember going to Harrogate and looking at all these beautiful, lovely buildings, and I was ever so young then. And I think it just grew from there. And I worked on the Channel Tunnel project. So that really, I guess, ignited my...
Well, the good news is it worked.
It does, and it still does. Obviously, COVID's put a few trains blockages on that for the moment. But yes, I think from that, I really found out how fascinating property is. Obviously, that was a huge infrastructure project that I got to work and see some amazing people who were doing amazing things.
My question to you is, how are you going to go and find that deal? And what sort of deal do you want to do with me? What sort of, how are we going to work together? What do you want to buy? Do you specialise in new build? Do you specialise in conversion, listed buildings?
I would say to you, primarily I'm here, not because of the money. I can generate that money, I can seek investors. I'm here primarily because of what I would say is the investment in terms of your knowledge. That to me is worth so much more than the money part of it.
William has already established a small property portfolio which includes buy-to-lets, a small HMO and a couple of build, renovate, rent and refinance projects. He's next to face the panel. William wants to win so he can take his property journey to the next level, as well as providing a great service and ROI to the company being formed.
What sort of project would you like to invest the £1 million into if you were successful?
I would be without sounding like an expert, which of course I'm not, I would be looking to do some sort of commercial to residential development. Not entirely sure where I'd be going, but it would be along the lines of perhaps a derelict pub in the southeast being converted into a HMO or flats.
Next up we have Eleanor, an ambitious woman who wants to help inspire other women to become property developers too.
So resilient, fearless, and have a competitive mindset. So why do you want to work with John?
The way I see it is John can fast track me to my goals. Learning from John, I already have done some work in development, and I just see this as an opportunity really for me to build on that by learning from somebody who clearly has an amazing track record.
Thank you. Good start. Helen.
So give us a little flavour about what you've done so far, Eleanor.
Basically, I've worked on a development where I took a 4-bed detached house, 2,000 square foot, doubled the footprint, 4,000 square foot, turned that into a 6-bed detached house, and I did that on budget, on time, with a 26% return on GDV.
Very good.
On time's quite impressive.
You got this investors group, 250 members. That's very impressive. Tell us a bit more about that and about you want to develop into commercial, residential, commercial to residential, yeah?
Sure. So it's a group of over 250 investors and developers. I run Zoom calls every 2 weeks. I get good quality speakers there, and essentially have a support network for them, momentum, coaching, and also I find sites for them, and also we do a lot of risk analysis. So they bring their deals, we analyse the deals, see whether they stack. And the good thing is about that group is that there's so much experience in that group that pretty much you could ask any question and it'd get answered within that group. If you picked me to go through to the next round, I'll be somebody that can, address issues.
You're going to get the figures right, that's for sure, aren't you? That's the good news.
That's it for this part of the show, but coming up after the break we meet David, who thinks he has what it takes to be John's next property partner.
So I'm just going to go for it. This is my chance, I'm taking it, right?
Yep.
Welcome back to The Property Graduate. Entering the interview room now is David, who started off as an apprentice electrician and now has 37 years' experience as a project manager in the construction industry. In his application, he said he would commit to putting full effort into this and protecting the investment with the same importance as if I were putting my own money into it.
Hello, Dave.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, jolly good. Welcome to Property Graduate.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Do you want to give us a little bit of background and tell us, exactly what you're looking for, what you think you can bring to this role?
Yeah, sure. My name's Dave Ford. I've been in construction engineering industry 37 years. Started off as a spark. Started off, my old man had a building firm, going to work with him when I was a kid. Worked my way through the ranks. Now project manager on Crossrail. I've held numerous management positions.
Can I just stop you there? When's it going to be finished?
Right, this is going out and tell you, I've got to be careful what I say, right? Let's just say soon.
Good.
My bit's all in hand, it's
Well
the
done.
others.
You're on time, it's everyone else. Quite right.
You know it, yeah.
Refreshingly said, if I may say so, Dave. Refreshingly said. And also, you're the first person to come in here with a suit and tie on. Whether that's to do with you being not similar age, you're younger than me, I'm sure. To me, I don't know. But isn't it nice to see a man in a suit
It
with
is,
a tie?
absolutely.
Thanks.
And also talking reality, we love that.
Reality, not dreams.
You said, you've seen so much because you've been in the industry for so long. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learnt?
I'll give you a great one. Anyone watching this, if you want to make money out of property, the best place to start is by not losing the money you've already got, and you will, I'm a project manager, but you will make or break any project at the pre-construction phase. I guarantee you, right? You get it right there. Anything that happens, don't matter, there could be 100 problems, you'll be able to deal with them in a proactive manner.
Because you're organised.
If you ain't set up from the beginning, you're going to be on the back foot, and it's just going to be hard work.
I'm just curious, what's the sort of number one reason that has attracted you to work with John on this opportunity?
All right, I'm just going to put my cards on the table, right? I've never had this chance before, I might not get it again, so I'm just going to go for it. This is my chance, I'm taking it, right?
Yep.
I'm good at what I do. I've got a technical background. You see, I'm a member of the IT and MAPM. This because these people are my peer group. This is what I aspire to be. I like the technical thing, but I want money and all, and that's in property, right? John's the number one geezer. He can take me where I want to go. He's got what I want. He's got the knowledge that I need, and in return, I'm going to make him a load of dough. It's as simple as that.
Lewis has gone from being the youngest store manager in the history of a well-known fast food franchise to now being a fledgling property investor who's developing 9 new builds. Lewis says, there are 2 things I enjoy most, making money and making others money.
Hi.
Hi.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on the show, The Graduate.
The £1 million that's on the table for doing this deal, that doesn't faze you at all then?
It would have about 6 months ago, and I thought
that's quite a jump,
it is a lot of money. You've got to appreciate the value of money. £1 million is a lot of money to everybody at all stages, and it wouldn't faze me in the sense of, because you can always leverage something. You have to hold your own fort, but that's what you've got a power team for. You leverage the experts.
Next to face the panel is Vanessa, who plans to leave her job as an investment banker and make her passion for property her full-time job.
Hi Vanessa, thank you very much for coming today. I'm very intrigued by what you've written and about yourself and what you're doing at the moment. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you are?
So I've spent the last 5 years investing and developing property alongside my day job. So I've built that portfolio using my savings. So for my day job, I work in financial services and I'm a project manager and business analyst. So been using the extra to grow the property portfolio. And that portfolio at the moment includes a number of buy-to-lets, 4 of which we created from a commercial conversion. We've also done a flip. That's what actually generated the additional equity to do the commercial conversion. So we've recycled funds. We've really made those savings sort of sweat as much as we can to try and maximise using the resources that we had.
Very good. And you've had a similar route in terms of your career so far as Helen has.
Yeah, Oxford and banking. Yeah.
Very similar.
Good start.
Yeah. Are you happy to travel? Are you based in London? Are you, are you?
Yeah. So I'm based in London. Our portfolio is split between sort of Surrey, and we're about to exchange on a property that's so Lewisham, so Greater London. Yeah. Our preference has been to try and stay close to home because it's a market that we know better.
I understand that. And it's not a bad strategy at all.
And
happy to continue that, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
But we explored Lewisham, Liverpool and Cambridge and other areas, but we kind of went, we don't know the market as well. So it's having a local expert, which we didn't have at the time.
Good thing is I know all those markets.
I'm just curious, you seem to have a very clear plan, but where do you see yourself in, say, 3 to 5 years? And especially if you you were the property graduate, what are you creating in this property world of yours?
Our focus so far has been income replacement, really, as an initial strategy. And then for me, the bigger schemes that allow more creativity for the interiors, the making homes rather than houses, and really exploring that angle of the sort of the finish and the product and the design is where I would like to be getting to. Bigger, chunkier projects where you then have the budget to do that extra.
But how will you make sure they're profitable?
I think ultimately that comes down to purchase price.
From investment banker to experienced property developer, Wasim has over 20 years' experience in the industry already.
You've made a very bold statement here, Wasim. I have succeeded in ventures where others have failed. Would you like to expand on that?
I actually bought a contaminated land in auction without reading a legal pack, which was a mistake.
You need to come to one of my auction seminars.
Absolutely, yeah. So I made a mistake, and when I got home, I realised that the land was completely contaminated and it was almost non-buildable. I went back to the seller, who was the council in question. I asked them whether they will buy back, and they said they wouldn't. I tried to tell them that, look, I'm not going to proceed with it, and they came back and they said that, look, if you don't proceed with it, we'll claim the costs against you.
Yeah, see you.
So obviously I didn't have any choice but to proceed with it. And then I done the several investigations, and I found there were 5 other people have been unsuccessful developing the land because of the previous historic gasworks was running under contamination. But I managed to find a consultant up in Bristol, and he came up with a strategy that he was going to put the concrete base and then the membrane. We presented it back to the environmental agency. It was a hard work running back and forth between the council, environmental agency, but I didn't want to give up because it was about £200,000 on the line. And we managed to build 4 semi-detached properties on it.
Good.
And
Good.
I made the gross profit of about 400,000 on the actual deal.
So congratulations, because that just shows that you can handle problems and deal with them successfully. So well done.
The sky's the limit and I'm hungry for the challenge, says Alicia, who's spent her life in commercial and finance-related roles.
This is a fantastic opportunity, which we all recognise, but it seems like you're quite a busy person. You're hosting Manchester events and things like that.
Yeah.
And what would you be giving up in order to take advantage of this opportunity and making sure that it was both profitable and successful for both you and John?
I don't think I'd be giving anything up. I think it's just gaining more. It's gaining more network, more knowledge, a decent relationship with a decent person who obviously you have great experience, John, and to have access to that support is just unbelievable.
Coming up after the break, we meet more competitors, including the anxious investor. Going before the panel now is Aaron, who's cultivated a large social media following as the anxious investor.
My name's Aaron. Some of you may actually know me on social media as the anxious investor. A little bit about tells yourselves a little bit about myself. So anxiety is kind of like a part of me, but obviously I invest in property as well. Alongside investing in property full time, I also run passion projects. So I have 2 mental health podcasts as well, which is a huge passion of mine as well. And me and the wife have just started a business, a superfood business. So I like to do a lot of things, but mainly things that get me out of bed and get me excited. And I find that property is really the thing that has allowed me to free up my time to kind of concentrate on those things. And in terms of my property journey, I started with very cheap houses in Stoke, made more mistakes than probably anyone's ever made. Learned a lot of lessons from that. Then I started to incrementally move up, bought houses for 90,000, then like a small HMO, tried that stuff. Done quite a bit, done a 10 flat commercial conversion off a site last year, which was a big step up for me. But what I've always tried to do is incrementally move up, because the mistakes I made early on coming from where I came from, I couldn't afford to make expensive mistakes. So essentially I learned from those and then got my commercial conversion done last year, which was a success, thankfully. And next it's development, which kind of brings me timely to where we are today.
I guess my question is around this is, there's a really big pot to play with.
Absolutely.
Does that kind of size, that number, and does that phase you at all?
So I think you always get some level of imposter syndrome when you move up. And I think the way I've done it, like I mentioned, with the 40,000, the 96, 140, the commercial conversion with 364, the land, our GDV is 2.6 million on that between 5 partners. So I feel like I've moved up in the right amount.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you guys
and today, and good luck.
Samantha is up next. She says she wants to create small urban villages which have a sense of community, are built to last, and can be adapted for a changing modern life.
Welcome, Samantha, to Property Graduate. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what's attracting you to work with John.
Hi, so I'm Sam. I'm originally from South London, and I'm a mother, got 2 small children, and I suppose I am on a bit of a quest to kind of just really push myself within the property realm and set a really good example for my children, and just kind of like be the change that I want to be in what I want to create, and for myself and my children as well, my family.
Okay, and you say you want to disrupt the property market. I've been trying to do that for 40 years, but I'm not sure I have.
In a good way.
Yeah, thanks. Mine wasn't always in a good way, I take it. You're probably right there, actually.
What are you going to have to give up in order to make this work?
To give up. I suppose I don't have any time at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to be giving up any time. I just feel like I'm going to be gaining so much rather than giving up. I can't really see a negative in what I'd give up by getting this, really, to be honest.
I live and breathe property, and everyone who knows me knows how much I love it. I have a proven track record, mainly consisting of HMOs. Well, let's see what Luigi has to say to the panel and if he lives up to his word.
My name's Luigi Newton. I'm from Nottingham. I'm 26 years old. I've been doing property for 4 years now, and I've built up a small portfolio. I've got 6 properties at the moment, currently getting number 7 as well. Essentially, I would like to work with yourself, John.
So in terms of analysing bigger deals, are you comfortable analysing bigger deals? Because obviously the next round you're going to be analysing a deal, and you're only going to have you might have an hour or 2 only to do it. And then you're going to be interviewed. If you get through, you'll be interviewed by these 2. Good luck there, by the way. So are you comfortable with that situation?
100%. I actually enjoy the process of looking at deals.
Yep.
I believe I'm a deal maker.
Yep.
I'm very comfortable looking at any deal. So I'm ready.
And what about when the storm clouds roll in on any deal?
Yeah.
And things go wrong?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Well, I think it's all about communication, especially initially when entering into a deal. You need to look at worst case scenarios, and it's just having real honesty and communication. That's what I'm all about. Communication, I feel, is the most important. I'm quick at replying to my partners. I'll get back to them quick. I'll email back quick. I'm available when needed. So for me, communication can solve most issues, really.
And what is the worst thing you've had to deal with so far? Or what's the biggest lesson you've had so far?
I had a HMO in an Article 4 area, and it didn't have the certificate of lawfulness. It was an existing HMO. I purchased it, and then when applying for the license, they put in a condition saying within 1 year you need to obtain a certificate of lawfulness. Luckily, we had the tenancies going back 4 years, so we could apply, and we did get it granted. But that was a big lesson because, you invest, say, £60,000 into doing a high-level professional HMO, and, if I didn't get that certificate, it would have been a bit of probably would have broke even, if that. So, yeah.
Richard is a man who's keen to impress. In his application, he put, "As a person who is new to property, I have a lot of work ahead of me. My lack of experience is definitely an additional risk factor. However, I have the drive, the analytical ability, the people skills, and the entrepreneurial spirit to succeed. All I need is the right guidance."
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi,
How are
Richard.
you?
Welcome to Property Graduate. So interesting, your submission. And the first thing you've sort of said is that you lack experience.
Yes.
And I just sort of was curious to know what makes up for this.
cliched as it sounds, I'm very passionate about this this career that I want to do for the rest of my life. Because really, where you guys are, I would love to do something that at least resembles that. And I'm driven, and yeah, it's a bit nerve-wracking, you know, but
that's
yeah,
fine.
That's
fine.
That's pretty much.
For me, it's all about finding deals, because most of the rest of the job, you can surround yourself with good people who can help you. So how are you at finding deals?
I'm looking anywhere and everywhere. I mean, I have a lot of agents that I speak to.
Good.
Consultants. I did try direct to vendor, but it's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack, and you're spending money on that.
Well, man from my own heart, spot on. We've had so many people come in here today saying, oh, you know, direct to vendor, drives me nuts. I don't know about you, Helen.
As the youngest applicant in the competition, Alfred will need to demonstrate why he is the best. He says he's on the ball when it comes to the numbers and strives for accuracy. He states, I'd always be willing to put my own skin in the game to show John how confident in a deal I am.
Welcome, Alfred. So you gave us quite a detailed submission, which is great to read, and you're certainly doing a lot for your younger age. And just curious at what has brought you to apply to work with John on this sort of project.
I was previously in cosmetics, and now I've got a project on the go in Oxfordshire, and trying to look for other projects, and they keep sort of coming my way, and I'm thinking, well, I could probably manage 2 at the same time. And so working with John and having his guidance and support would really help me to excel in that project and any further projects that I do. And
what exactly is the appeal about property?
It really brings together everything, all my skills. So in my previous business, it wasn't, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't rewarding, or it didn't utilise my best skills. So I'm quite good at project management, organising people, working with people, and just that was just cash in, cash out. And property really, you build networks and you bring people together, and it just really brings it all together for me.
Cash in, cash out isn't necessarily a bad thing, though. How are you on the kind of the numbers, the finance side of things?
It says he's very good, Helen, because I've read it. He says he's very good.
You can check my numbers, but then there's not any issues there, I'm sure.
If you get through to the next round, don't you worry, Helen will be checking your numbers.
In terms of the cash in, cash out, it was just the fact that it was mindless, it was completely faceless. No talking to people, it was just...
And there'd be quite an age gap between you and John.
Well, that's just rude. Carry on.
And how did you manage that? No.
I think it would work quite well. It's having that sort of quite distance, and to have two perspectives, the sort of more senior experience and a young, fresh face is kind of seeing different things in the market. Then it could work really well.
You've certainly got a lot of confidence, but what would you say your weaknesses are, or what might you struggle with?
Probably just kind of prove myself using my skills in the best way possible, really. So kind of showing that I can deliver and actually delivering. So I've got people are asking to like work with me, but I don't feel confident using their money when they've got less experience than I. So I need that sort of build so that I'm confident using my own money, but not using someone else's at the moment.
Coming up after the break, the panel interview a young man who's cast his eye over more than 400 deals. Join us shortly. Welcome back to The Property Graduate. Next into the interview room is Tej, who says he's learnt a lot of lessons. I believe my endless list of mistakes, cowboy builders, money lost and made, combined with over 400 plus deals that I've looked at, gives me a strong background for this. I've also read over 200 legal packs, so my analytical skills have been honed and I can handle the gritty, often complex legal issues.
So I am here because I have a little bit of experience in buy-to-lets and flips and all that kind of ready-made stuff. And of course, seeing John and all of your reputations, I want to get into development. I am sick of wet roofs, walls that are not flat, DPCs that are broken. I want to get some mud and convert it into a beautiful family home or homes for people.
So what would you say are the risks that you could see in undergoing this project?
Absolutely. So I think the risks are, I look at my checklist for doing buy-to-lets and it's this much. I look at my checklist for developments and it's as tall as I am. But all it takes is one cowboy to mess one thing up and you're knocking it down. So for me, the risks are all the way along.
The trick is not to have any cowboys.
Exactly.
And what's the biggest, you did mention cowboys, what's the biggest thing, biggest lesson that you've learned so far?
How I vet builders and tradespeople, and then how I manage and work with them. You know, I think I've struggled with being very blunt and direct with tradespeople before, and I've realized that doesn't always work. And so learning to vet people using recommendations, reviews, seeing their work, you know, credit checking them if I need to, seeing their ID, like I go as detailed as I need to, but also being there to manage it, or having someone to manage it. And by being really passionate about construction, you know, I know how to plaster a wall, I can't do it. I know if they're doing it right. So when I walk on site, I'm not an investor saying, this looks good. I'm saying, why is that bead like that? You know, why have you done that? That's really rough. And that allows me to judge their work and manage them as if I was kind of a builder alongside them.
The thing is, Tej, when you're investing the sort of money we're going to be investing, hopefully together, you have got all the professionals surrounding you, looking after your best interests. So one thing that concerns me slightly what you've said, and I quote you here, I'm not applying to this show for the profit. Mm-hmm. Well, with all due respect, I'm here for the profit. I'm not interested in someone who's not going to make me profit, and my investors or my backers, or whether it's my money or investors' money, they're not going to be too impressed either. So can you just explain what you mean by that?
Sure. So what I meant by that is not the core driver. I think for anyone, it might be a bit philosophical, but if money is the core driver of the activity, so me, you know, doing this new build, it's going to fail because what's driving me is too shallow and it's not my why and it's not my real motivation. I'm here to build beautiful homes, to create incredible interiors that are functional and stylish, and that eclipse, you know, what big new build developers do.
Your plan going forward to invest our money would be in new build?
Yes. And it would be profitable, but my passion in
we
my
do hope so. Otherwise, it's a bit of a waste of time.
It would be in some trouble.
And by the way, you can't always get it right. As I always say, you show me a developer that's not lost any money, and I show you a liar.
Following Tej into the interview room is Matt, who has 9 years' experience investing in HMOs and now has his own specialist HMO agency in Norwich.
So my name's Matt. Yeah, work for Bank by Day. Started it 6 years ago. So graduated from university and was going to have a background in graphic design. Somehow ended up in London. But over the past few years, I've been exposed to the commercial and the retail side and kind of started to get the bug of working with small businesses.
Reading this CV, it sounded like you've got so much on the go. How on earth are you going to have time to be my joint venture partner?
So, yeah, there's a lot going on. Obviously, there's the normal 9-to-5 day job, there's the YouTube channel, and there's starting the property side of things as well. For me, I think it's all about, the obvious answer is time management, but it's being passionate about what you're working in. And when you're really passionate about that thing you're working on or in, it doesn't feel like A, work, and then B, time doesn't really matter. So there are as many hours under the sun as that you can make available. And there's a saying that I always hear when people say, you know, I've not got enough time. That's never really the answer. It's about you making time. And if you enjoy it, then I can make all the time in the world for it.
Heading in to see the panel is James, who's worked in various sectors of the property industry, from residential sales, commercial sales and lettings, and property and land auctions.
There are many hats that need to be worn in doing a development. Which would you say are the hats that you wear the best?
So far, sales and marketing has been the hat I've been wearing. I'd say that's where my sort of strengths lie. People are starting to come around to the power of social media. We had a recent film crew come down to our site, and which I organised, and we got 120,000 views in 2 weeks, which has been great for helping to sell the last two. We've had an influx of inquiries, and actually an influx of landowners approaching us to
yeah,
work
that's very
with us.
interesting, James. I mean, we're very, very hot on every development we do. That we have a website, and we do social media, and we do all sorts of Facebook stuff. You know, targeting the right demographics.
Well, I've recently taught myself WordPress, so I can actually build and edit our websites to keep our costs down.
Yeah,
I do graphic design, I do videography. But I'd like to learn more about the project management and the finance, which is why I'd like to work alongside
James.
someone experienced.
All that sounds great, but how are you and I going to find some deals?
So, as I said, I've already got some landowners approaching us.
Yeah.
I've got a really good network of people, having worked in this space for the last few years, 3 or so years.
Yep.
Plus, I have relationships with land agents.
Next up is Stewart, who wrote in his application, "My key principles in life centre around integrity, trust and value with whomever I deal with."
Welcome to Property Graduate.
Thank you.
So I was reading your submission and you talked a bit about scars that you have experienced. And I was curious to know what scars you were talking about.
There's quite a few of them, as any of us that have been in property would know. The first scars I have was moving my 6-month pregnant wife and 3 children at the time into an old house that I was going to develop because I believed that I'd get planning permission in 4 to 6 weeks.
I bet you were popular.
Cool.
I wasn't, because it didn't have central heating. It was an Edwardian property that hadn't been touched for 50 years.
Wow.
And it smelt.
That's called love.
Yeah,
that's
she's.
love.
I mean, obviously I pay for that every single day and have done for the last 5 years.
You're reminded of it from time to time, no doubt.
But did
Yeah,
it
on
make
occasion.
money?
Sorry?
Was it?
I think we broke even. I think it washed its face in the end. But
Bit of
what
a
I
money
learned,
pit.
it was a money pit, and of course the planning took 3 months, and I decided just to refurb it. And what that taught me was that it's always going to take longer and cost more.
Last but certainly not least is Kimberley, a chartered accountant who says she has flawless academics and loves complex modelling in Excel. She's keen to inspire other women from less fortunate backgrounds.
Well, I said I'm a chartered accountant. I've got 15 years of broad business and finance experience, primarily in the building trade. Over the last few years, I've done various researching, reading, networking and training. I've now got a property management and sourcing business, and I do a little bit of consulting on the side. But my real passion is generating value from property, and I want to build an asset base to give my family a better start in life than I had. I grew up in a council house. So that's what I want to do. I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I managed a large commercial portfolio for a PLC for a few years. So my background's kind of primarily in the commercial space, and hence I want to do it in the commercial space this year. So given my background and the economic climate and the government initiatives in that space, that's where I'm looking to focus this year. But what I'm looking for today, John, is a joint venture partner that can unlock that capital for me, as commercial is a completely different beast to residential, as you're aware. So that's what I'm looking for, and hopefully with your years of experience, you can help me along the way and help me kind of fast track my career. So
and hopefully make some profit.
Definitely. An accountant, those figures need to be bang on.
Good answer.
And you're clearly really good at kind of the numbers, the kind of finance, that kind of side of it. But this is a big amount of money to play with. How do you feel about that? Does that intimidate you at all?
Absolutely not. I used to work in a large PLCs where everything was in millions and billions even. So that not at all. And I'll be hot on those numbers. I do lots of sensitivity on all my deals. I'm always doing sensitivities. All the key drivers. What happens if it's 10% more? What if it takes longer? And I'm quite prudent. Being an accountant, you generally are. So I'm always looking at what's the worst case scenario and how do we mitigate it effectively. So no, I'm not at all.
Safe
kind of put
hands
off.
there.
And cash flow. I mean, a lot of the developments go bust because they don't have the cash at the right time. I'm just doing a cash flow for a startup. It's key. Cash is king, isn't it? So, got to make sure that you don't run out of money before you get to the end, and factor in those timescale rates. Some people don't, think they're going to sell it within a few months, but you've got to allow for, COVID or other things that might go on.
I always allow a year for doing development and a year for selling. 2 years. And if it's sooner than that, great.
First up to find out if they've made it to the next round is Gavin.
As you know, there was over 100 applicants to start with.
Yeah.
We narrowed it down to 20. You did really well to get in the 20, but unfortunately, we're not going to put you through to the challenge.
Okay, yeah.
You interviewed incredibly well. It was more to do, I believe, with just the lack of development experience in terms of finding deals. And I think what I would stress to you, please do come back.
No, that's okay. Fantastic. Thank you for the opportunity.
Not at all, Gavin, and we do really genuinely hope to see you again. Hi, Katherine. Thank you very much for coming back in. I'm afraid it's bad news on this occasion. You won't be going through to the challenge. Wasim, thank you very much for coming today. Unfortunately, on this occasion, we're not going to put you through to the challenge. Hi, Tej. This is a very difficult thing for me to do, and I'm so sorry to tell you that you are through to the challenge.
Oh, amazing. You nearly had me there for a second. I was getting, thank you. Amazing.
So you're through to the challenge. You're going to have to bring your A game. There's some serious people we've put through And these two ladies are going to be on it big time.
I'm ready. Doing my times tables, doing my analysis. I'm ready.
Literally, and the property you'll be analysing is they're all tough, because I need to make sure that the person who's my partner is on it, seriously on it.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
You're through to the challenge.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
Pleasure. See you next time. Hi, Alicia.
I'm more nervous now than I was before.
Oh.
I've actually got butterflies.
Well, can I say you did a very good job in here last time, and I can say to you that you are through to the challenge.
Oh my gosh, really?
So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
You're going to have to be on your A game.
I'm going to bring the A game.
Bring the A game.
It's coming. Thank you.
And we will see you next time. Lewis.
Hi, John.
Hello, William.
John.
Hi, Stewart. Thank you so much for taking part in the show. I'm afraid it's not good news. I'm afraid you won't be going through to the challenge. And thank you very much for taking part. Eleanor. Aaron.
How are you doing? You okay?
Hello, Alfred.
Yes.
You're smiling.
Of course I am.
So I'm going to keep it very short and just say congratulations.
Oh,
you are through to the challenge.
I'm up to the challenge.
Well done.
Look
Don't let
forward
us
to it.
down.
Won't do.
We've put a lot of faith in you.
Thank you.
Hello, James.
Hi.
We haven't had a row between us. We haven't had a row.
Okay.
But we had quite a firm conversation, James, regarding yourself.
Okay.
You've got two fans either side of me, and I'm not convinced that I really want to go down the green route quite yet.
Okay.
As it's new.
Yeah.
However, I've taken the advice of two very experienced people. Congratulations, you're through to the challenge. Hello, Kimberley. As you know, it's been a very long, tough day, and we can't put everyone through. So congratulations, you are through to the challenge. Through to the challenge.
3 yeses.
Oh my God,
Three
thank you
yeses.
so much. Thank you, thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Hello, Clive. First of all, thank you for coming over from Ireland, because it's a really big effort to do so, and I really do appreciate it. As you know, we had over 100 applicants. You got through to the 20. Unfortunately, we're not going to put you through to the challenge. Dave.
All right.
Been a long day, hasn't it?
Got nothing else to do.
No. Well, what I can say is you've got another day's work, because you're through to the challenge.
Oh, sweet. Nice
How about
one.
that?
Cheers.
Samantha, thank you very much for coming today. It's been a very difficult decision we've had to make, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, though, you won't be going through to the challenge. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
As you know, long day, difficult decisions, but on this occasion, you won't be going through to the challenge, but please do keep in touch with me. I genuinely mean that. Luigi, thank you very much for coming today. As you know, it's been very, very tough. We had over 100 applicants to start with. You did get to the 20, which was a great effort in itself. And I've got some good news for you. So you're through to the challenge.
Yeah. Hey.
Richard.
John.
We've had over 100 entrants, as you know. So to get to the last 20 was a seriously good effort. Unfortunately, we're not going to take you any further. You won't be going through to the challenge. Hi, Vanessa.
Hello.
It's a very difficult decision. I'm not convinced you're going to find me deals. I'm really not convinced. However, we are willing to give you the opportunity to change my mind.
Okay.
These two ladies think you can. So
We do.
So congratulations, you're through to the challenge. So we'll see you next time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. I hope to prove that I can, and thank you for your confidence in me.
You've got everything else going for you. There we go.
Oh, I think we've got a great list.
Our job is done.
Yeah.
I think we've got a very exciting list of very varied people. Very varied people. And I think it's exciting.
Yeah.
And it's been a long day.
You've got an amazing group to choose from. It will be really interesting to see who steps up to the plate in the next round.
And I think that will sort a few out.
How are we going to pick 3 from that group?
Well, we couldn't. If it was today, we couldn't do it.
No.
Yeah. So we, it's a very tough test they've got. They've got 1 hour to analyse a deal, and that's not long.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on.
Do join us in the next episode when John sets his remaining competitors this challenge: to appraise a property deal and come up with a plan to develop it and produce a net profit of 30%, all in just 1 hour.